1 out of every 8 adults thinks Joan of Arc is Noah's wife. Less than half of all adults can name all 4 Gospels. More than half of graduating seniors thought Sodom and Gomorrah were husband and wife. Way too many polled thought the Sermon on the Mount was preached by Billy Graham, if they even knew who Billy Graham was. Most people think that God helps those who help themselves is actually a verse. More than 60% of Americans can't even name 5 of the 10 commandments. Only 20% say the Bible is the actual Word of God. 29% say it's all fables and legends. And most Christians can't even name more than 2 or 3 disciples. The sad reality is most people have not read the Bible much at all. And sadly, it seems like most of us rely on popular television shows or content creators or vegetables to get our Bible knowledge.
Laddie boy, put your super suction ear down by the weed.
But that's not what the Messiah told us to do. Give us this day our daily bread. Be in the Word daily. His Word is bread, and it's the bread of life. If the Israelites didn't gather the manna from heaven and eat it every single day while journeying through the wilderness, they never would have made it to the promised land. This is a problem. This is a big problem. A problem we need to solve. Instead of only relying on churches and pastors for our manna once a week, we got to go gather that manna ourselves. We got to get into the scriptures and read it for ourselves. God says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." So we got to come together. We got to defeat this enemy as one. And don't be deceived. The enemy is devouring us in this. So here's one way that my buddy Miles and I are attacking this problem head on. We are creating this free resource where we don't only read the Bible and we don't only listen to the Bible, we also see the Bible played out right in front of us. Scene by scene, word for word, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. This has never been done before.
And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear."
The entire Bible, animated, book by book, verse by verse, chapter by chapter, for all of us to read, to see, and to hear.
And to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good.
The sad reality is most of us in America are way too comfortable. Many of us might get fired up to read the first couple chapters, but then we fall off. That's like when Jesus talked about the seed being planted in the soil and it sprang up quickly, but then it withered away because the soil was shallow and the sun grew hot. Right there, Jesus warned us. Clear as day. So what are we gonna do about it? My challenge to you and to myself is to read, listen, and watch every single word of the Bible this year. Each video is usually 2 chapters and is roughly 10 to 12 minutes long. So whether you go through our videos or you read the Bible on your own or you listen to an audio, spend time with God. Because, if we're not able to spare 15 minutes a day with God, then is He really the Lord of our lives? Or are we simply too busy to be Christian? Are we simply too busy to be in a relationship? How good would our relationships be if we only gave them a few minutes every Sunday morning? Same thing applies to God. But I really believe we can turn this thing around. We can become people of the Word, filled with the Spirit, and see our country come back to Jesus Christ. But we got to be the light. The light is supposed to go to the darkness and light it up. But if the light doesn't have light, how can the darkness become light? So if you'd like to start on this journey of knowing God better and jumping into His Word, go ahead and click on this video right here. And if you'd like to check out the entire playlist, go ahead and click right here. Thank you, and God bless.